Hi, I'm Carissa from Claymore Wines and I'm here to welcome you to our fabulous Fri-Yay Frocker Fiesta! Please join us, don your fabulous frocks, ladies, or your fancy pants as we celebrate the Clare Valley Gourmet Weekend featuring a few of our beautiful wines, Loretta's secret recipe sangria and the beautiful store paella from Louise Haynes at the Watervale store. We're doing a lovely food and wine matching session through the course of the evening and I hope you get a lot of fun out of it because we're going to enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you. Fiesta! Here today to celebrate our contribution to the Clare Valley's virtual gourmet weekend. Annual celebration of all things fantastic from the Clare food, wine and friends. And to that end, I introduce you to our National Sales Manager, Damon O'Brien. It's very serious today. To actually come and road test some of the wines that we're suggesting to pair with our Fiesta today. It's a Spanish theme, but no gourmet weekend will kick off appropriately unless you have beautiful bubbles in the glass, just to get the party started. Damon is our resident Francophile. He certainly has a passion for all things Burgundian, the classics, and among that, a strong weakness for champagne. Now, we know this is not champagne, this is a little nod to something fun and festive, but I'd like to invite Damon to give us a little assessment of our Riding with the King, Blanc de Blanc. It's an Adelaide Hills Chardonnay. Okay. Cellar door exclusive, so only available through us here in Clare. So Damon, the floor is yours.
The Blanc de Blanc, the white of white, and it is all about the perfect aperitif. So we often think about champagne and bubblies as that celebration thing, but in this case, as you're preparing some food, this is perfect. It's cleansing, it's crisp. This one in particular has got this lovely citrus, almost lemon myrtle character on the nose. It's beautiful and refreshing, and that's what Blanc de Blanc is about. It's almost simple, but that's its beauty. It's almost less is more.
There's a really beautiful minerality in that, but then pure citrus sort of flavour profile. I do like the balance in this. It's dry without being bracingly acid.
With lovely length. It's got this beautiful, lingering back palate flavour that just feels refreshing.
Went in for the second taste, couldn't bring myself. Anyway, so to start your gourmet fiesta at home, kick it off with a little bubbly. We do love our Blanc de Blanc, but you know what? Anything you find around the place is support Aussie at the moment. Even you are compromising on that, Mr. Champagne Man.
But this is where Australian sparkling really is becoming, getting to new levels. And at the old days of it has to be champagne, I think we've moved well beyond that. And value for money, this is just really special.
Oh, thank you. Lovely. So we look forward to bringing you the next instalment as we go through the wines. So the three wines that we've selected to feature for the Gourmet Weekend Fiesta, every gourmet has to start with the bubbles. So we have our Riding with the King Blanc de Blanc, it's an Adelaide Hills Chardonnay. We have our To Pimp a Butterfly, Shiraz Mataro. Mataro again a nod to the Spanish. And we have our Miseducation Tempranillo, and this is definitely a variety of Spanish origin, but with a very Australian take on it in our production. And then the beautiful Loretta has shared with us her secret recipe, sangria, and that's what we're going to have as a little special treat and a way of basically not taking ourselves too seriously and livening the party up. So, happy Gourmet Fiesta, we look forward to sharing it all with you. So, when it comes to sangria, I am a novice and a newbie, but we get to draw on the experience of the beautiful Loretta, one of our cellar door salespeople. She had a Spanish adventure a couple years ago and walked the Camino, the 800-kilometre walking trail through Spain, and returned with a renewed love for all things Spanish and insight into some of the delicacies out of Spain. So sangria, I went to the source obviously, and she tells me, but I'm gonna get my cheat sheet. You can download this on our website. If you wanna be able to play along, head to our events page. So Loretta's secret recipe sangria, 30 cherries pitted, Yes, they're out of season. Jar stuff is fine. I use jarred Morello cherries found in my local supermarket. 4 peaches cut into segments. Again, I stewed the last of my last season peaches about 3 weeks ago, so I went for the pre-packaged stuff in juice, not syrup. Unwaxed oranges, 2 of those little suckers, and you juice and peel them, and it's the juice and the peel that you pop in, and then you flavour that all up with some star anise, some cinnamon, and some cloves with a little bit of brown sugar. And you've got to get that going the day before. So I was busy macerating all this last night, stick it in the fridge for a good 12 hours, and then the magic happens the day you want to drink it. So today, into this little baby, you have to add some brandy. No. So this one says for a bottle of red wine, because that's what we also pop in here, you need 100 mils of brandy and 100 mils of Cointreau, and that really lifts the orange aromatics. And then 400 mils of soda water, so you got your bottle of red wine, 100 mils of brandy, 100 mils of Cointreau, soda, and all that glorious flavour from the spices and the fruit. Normally served over ice, but it was frosty and -2 degrees this morning in Clare, so we've forgone the ice for the sake of staying a little warmer on the inside. Cheers. Alrighty, so Damon, we better head to the Waterbow General Store.
Let's get there, I'm starving.
See what Louise is doing on the stoves to have a look at this paella coming together. Our star at the Waterbow General Store, who is making our paella today. And this is her domain. This is where you shine and excel. So you can give us a little behind the scenes.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent.
Come on.
And you need to breathe it in. And sorry, I'm socially distancing here, but the aromas are stunning. If you make it at home, sit there and just breathe in that waft of aromatics that come from the pan. It's beautiful. Yeah, I'm salivating. We are here, we have obviously a very beautiful smelling dish. We've got a few friends hovering around. You can see it's continued to soak up the juices in the rice in the time that we've taken to get back from the store and do the full unveiling. Beautiful Spanish bomber rice. These are Kinkawunka mussels. I hope I said that right, from Port Lincoln. She's got the Spencer Gulf prawns in there. There is some calamari as well, so all Spencer Gulf seafood. with chicken buried in there as well, which is a Green Slade's free-range chicken. Chorizo that's been fried off with, I think, right at the very start with a whole heap of onion, which just imbues a lot of beautiful flavour. And then finish it off with these beautiful peas and some parsley. So, it just, yeah. Now,
you have your moment there, Chris.
yeah, so that is the food element, and I'm super excited. And now we actually head to the wines, which is why I bring my dear friend Damon O'Brien back into the fray.
And Shiraz Mataro. And this is, I mean, as a dish, there are so many different wines that you could put with this. But I think the Mataro in particular, whether you want to call it Mourvedre or Monastrell, being the Spanish theme today, but in good old South Australia, it's Mataro.
In the Clare Valley, mate, it's Mataro. Yeah.
This is the Mataro, a little bit like Grenache, works so beautifully with these, you know, slightly spicy but really full flavoured dishes. So it can complement so many dishes across, so many flavour structures across your palate. So mid-weight, looking at...
Yeah, light, delicate, there's some floral element in the aromatics.
With a beautiful berry, you know, dark berry sort of character in the fruit nose.
The colour of that makes you want to drink it on its own.
But isn't going to clash with the flavours.
No.
Is going to cleanse the palate, but still gives you that lovely weight to a red wine. So it's that warming structure without it being blast your palate apart. Beautiful length. Almost delicate.
I see delicacy in that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lovely savoury edge on the finish, but a beautiful, delicate fruit profile. So, yeah, you wouldn't want a big ballsy thing with this. It would overpower it,
absolutely.
wouldn't it? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely, and that's where
I know what I'm
the
talking about.
softness of the Mataro really filters out that Shiraz. The Shiraz gives that little touch of weight, but it's the Mataro that's giving that savoury character, almost that, if I can say it, Iberian, Spanish sort of savoury sort of note about it, and it just works so beautifully.
Well, this has been exciting. We get to do a little comparison now. We'll move on to Tempranillo. All right, so the experimentation continues. Got our little tasting dishes. Are you going to eat this, Damon?
Oh, of course.
He's notoriously not a seafood fan, so the look on his face when he realised it was all this beautiful seafood, it's fine, it's all the more for me really, so I don't care. But Tempranillo?
Tempranillo, which is the perfect wine blend for this dish, without a shadow of a doubt.
I did give a bottle of the Tempranillo to Louise in preparing for the dish, and actually she came back to me 2 days later and said it's just the perfect wine for it. She was expecting a more savoury style, but it's actually quite plush and generous fruit. It's an Aussie interpretation of that classic.
So traditionally best known in the north of Spain in Rioja and also in Ribera del Duero, and it produces really big, almost New World style. As European goes, traditional Tempranillo out of Spain can be incredibly big, but they make it in lots of different ways. And I think our climate in the Clare with a little bit of altitude is actually really similar to the Douro Valley as it runs out of Portugal all the way through Spain down towards Madrid. And I think this, as you say, it is very New World. It's very Aussie, but it's got that lovely savoury touch about it.
There is a sweetness to the fruit profile here that you don't get there. That's
almost
delicate
cherries.
and restrained, and this is, that Morello cherry in the sangria.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so what we need to do is now actually destroy the perfection, or add to it by putting it in my stomach, but anyway. I'm just going to fossick around to see if I can get some of the crusty goodness from the bottom.
Oh, look at you go.
I know. Well, I'm angling for a prawn, actually. Come on. Well, I'm deliberately not going to put a prawn on yours. All right.
Would be appreciated. But some of that chorizo in there looked amazing as Lou was cooking it.
And smelt amazing as she was cooking it too.
Yep.
So, is that enough for you, my
plenty,
darling?
thank you.
Alrighty, cool. So, I've only managed one fork here.
Oh, far away.
No, you take the fork, I'll do the spoon.
Lovely. All right.
There's always a solution.
There is.
So this is where we get to see the magic happen, hopefully.
But think about the flavours combined. That hint of cherry, that soft sweetness of the fruit of the wine, then being offset against.
Okay, so this is my Shiraz Mataro from earlier. Ooh, we do have a friend.
Both of these mid-weight wines, again, as we said before, trying to put this up against a big Australian Shiraz or a big Australian Cabernet really would be a clash. You know, these more mid-weight, we could easily have introduced a Grenache Shiraz Mataro into this. You know, the Shiraz Mataro or the Tempranillo, possibly even the Sangiovese, but these just work so well with these. It's again, really delicate flavour that's just so packed full of flavour with the food.
But do you know what it is?
Actually, I'll go with the Shiraz Mataro.
The fruit sweetness in that Tempranillo just lifts everything. This one is just a little more restrained, a little more delicate. That the Tempranillo is definitely my go-to. Okay, I have a personal winner. You're welcome to vote. Pop it in your notes and your feedback when you get to the ring me. Let me know. 88-430-2000. Call me. Sorry, it's where my partner finds me at most nights when he's trying to find me to come home. Anyway, wine is incredibly attractive.
I'm with you with the Tempranillo. There's that hint of sweetness.
Yeah.
There's almost a floral note to it. That's sort of almost that rose petal going on that matches the delicateness of the food.
But you say delicateness of the food. The chorizo's got good intensity. The seafood is quite rich and engaging. You know, like it's
too much going on almost, but it's
no, never enough, mate. Never enough. No, that is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Louise Haynes, I salute you, my lady, because that is delicious.
It really is good.
Right, we need to get some of this for everybody else here and get some joint feedback. Give us a second and we'll be back with more on the plate. Satisfying, incredibly delicious. I'm now finishing with one of Loretta's sangrias. The sweetness was beautiful with the sweetness of the tomato in the paella. So please join in, post your pics of yourself in your fabulous frocks or your fancy pants underneath the Facebook post over the course of the weekend. You don't have to run off and get changed right now. We'll decide on a best dress come Monday and send out a little 6-pack, a Gourmet Fiesta 6-pack to the lucky individual we think is frocked up or fancy pants dance the best. And to that end, if you want to make it, if you've missed out, head to the website. There's a link to the store paella recipe on the events page. Louise has been beautiful and shared it all. And I would like to invite my beautiful girls to come in for a Fri-Yay 12, please, ladies.